Welcome to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast, the place for scrappy female entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. We've talked a lot about how to market your business and stand out from the crowd during the holiday season on this podcast. In fact, there are so many episodes specifically for Q4 that I created a landing page on my website to help you find them all. You can head to ecommercebadassery.com/holiday podcast, all one word, to find them. But as I was thinking through the majority of the strategy I've shared in relation to running these campaigns, they pretty much always assume that you're going to be running some sort of Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotion. And this makes sense, right? Most product businesses run a promotion during this time, and most consumers are expecting it. But does that mean you have to run a promotion during this time to be successful? The short answer, no. It's your business and you get to run it your way. But if you are going to skip the discount, you're definitely going to have to be more intentional about how you show up if you want people to buy from you. Before we get into how I recommend you go about this, let me just say that running a promo during this time doesn't have to look like a blanket discount off your entire store that discounts the products your customers would probably pay full price for or completely kill your margin. There are a lot of different ways you can use discounts strategically to hit your specific goals. Back in the day at my previous job, we pretty much always did a blanket sale because our main goal was to increase our top line revenue. We had a really good margin and the increased volume made up for that margin hit. Ultimately, from a dollar perspective, we brought in more profit than we would have if we didn't run the discount. For you as a small business who doesn't necessarily have that volume, you might not be able to make up that difference and ultimately end up less profitable than if you got fewer sales at a higher margin. You have to test it out and do the math to be sure. But as I mentioned, you can use discounts more strategically. Maybe you have some inventory you need to move, so you only apply your promotion to those items. It's something you would eventually do to clear out that inventory anyway, right? In this case, you're just dressing it up around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Or maybe you bundle those slow-moving products with one of your best sellers, the items your customers are likely to buy even at full price. If you don't have slow-moving products, is there an opportunity for you to offer quantity discounts off of your best sellers, assuming it makes sense that someone would buy more than one? This works really well if you have a super giftable item that someone can buy multiple of to give to multiple people on their list. Maybe you offer a gift with purchase, and that's something you can write off as a marketing expense. Bonus points if you can get a deal from your vendor on the GWP item that you give to your customers. We used to do this with panties during Valentine's Day at my previous gig, and our customers went bonkers crazy for them. If you have a rewards program, you could offer double rewards points instead of a discount, or only offer a secret sale to your email list and just don't promote it publicly. Another strategy we used at my previous gig, this was during the Halloween season. We had a really big costume business, and it was actually our second highest grossing period behind Valentine's Day. We would run promotions early in October to drum up some excitement about our assortment. But come the week of Halloween, everything went back to full price because we knew people just needed a costume and were willing to pay for it. It's funny though, because every season, and I was there for 7 Halloweens, I think, in our weekly meetings, we would get nervous in the middle of October that we weren't moving Halloween product fast enough. And then those last 2 weeks, they'd fly off the shelves without fail. I don't share this with you to say you have to run a promotion during this time because you really don't. But I want to make sure you're thinking about it a bit more strategically versus it just being all or nothing, discount or no discount. And at the end of the day, if you're not running a promo, it's possible customers just aren't going to shop with you during Black Friday weekend. And if you're cool with that, then awesome. I just want you to be realistic about the impact not having a sale might have on your business. All that being said, if you decide you will not be running promos on Black Friday weekend or at all this holiday season, let's talk about how I recommend you show up to market your business during this time. First off, everything you hear me talk about when it comes to marketing your business during the holidays, such as creating gift guides, dressing up your website, increasing your email frequency, I would still do all of that. There is a difference between not running a promotion and not acknowledging the holidays at all. And look, in some cases, maybe you're really early in your business or you don't sell a very giftable item and Q4 has just never been all that lucrative for you. It can feel like a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. That was the case for a lounge member last year that sells skincare. She's got an in-person component to her business and that was her priority. This year, she is going to give it a go with a little extra support in a lounge exclusive Q4 mastermind. But if you feel that it's just not necessarily going to be worth the effort at this stage in your business and you'd rather just spend your time with your family, you can absolutely sit this one out. But let's say you do want to participate in Q4 and the holiday season, you just don't want to run any promos. If that's you, the most important thing you can do is communicate the fact that you're not running a promotion and why. Craft a marketing message that hits on some emotional point behind why you're not doing it and get your people to rally around you. Now, I do want you to be careful here. Depending upon your brand and your customer, you don't necessarily want to go and just bash the commercialization of Christmas unless your audience will appreciate that because people are looking for some joy this time of year. And even outside of the gift giving thing, people just love to buy stuff for themselves. They're just in the mood to spend money and really enjoy shopping and how it makes them feel and all of that. So you definitely want to make sure whatever it is you're saying isn't going to offend the people who are your best customers. You can offend some people, absolutely, because you are not tequila or pizza and you don't make everybody happy. But just think about your key audience when you're thinking about what you're going to say. The luggage brand Away, I think they do Black Friday sales now, but a few years ago they didn't. And their message was, we price our product so you can get a really great value every single day. Basically saying you don't need a sale to get a great deal on what we offer. Another angle is kind of similar to what Nordstrom does with their holiday windows. So they do not dress their windows for holiday until after Thanksgiving. And they always put a sign in the window that says, we like celebrating one holiday at a time. And they let customers know when they're going to kick off their holiday campaign. Ultimately, you get to choose what your message is. I do recommend you err on the side of caution and just keep it on the lighter side. Just like with any marketing message, you got to make sure you're doing your part to communicate this to your customers. At a minimum, you'll want to send an email to your list and post it on social. You could always pin that to the top of your feed as well. I don't think you need to put anything on your website, but if you feel like you do, make it a secondary message. You can put it in your hello bar at the very top. It can have some text that just says why we're not running a Black Friday sale, and then you can link it to another page with more details. Ultimately, on your site, I'd rather you focus more on what they will get by shopping with you during this time, like really great gifts for loved ones, versus what they're not getting from you, a promotion. You can also always use things like limited quantities as the reason why they should buy from you now versus a promotion. Any sort of urgency or scarcity play that you can make will work well here. You just want to make sure that it's real. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's limited quantities if it isn't. If you are doing something handmade or custom, then you likely have cutoff dates and you can really focus your messaging around that as well. One last note before we go. I know sometimes we're afraid to give discounts because we don't want to train our customers to only buy when we run a sale, and we're afraid they're going to wait. Well, when it comes to Black Friday, the truth is they're already waiting. I talk to you guys about this a lot with welcome discounts for your email list. Giving someone a welcome discount is not going to train them to wait for a sale. It's just reducing the risk for them to buy from someone new. The only way you're going to train your customers to wait for a sale is if you run sales every weekend. It's also why I'm not a huge fan of 12 days of Christmas sales, because it's confusing to the customer and causes them to worry if the thing they buy today is going to be on sale tomorrow. So if that's what's been holding you back, you don't have to worry about that. If it's down to, well, when I run a sale, I don't really make enough extra revenue to compensate for the lost margin, well, then in that case, then I'd want you to kind of look at your marketing strategy there. Maybe it's possible you just don't have the visibility you need yet, like I talked about earlier, in terms of how much extra volume you're getting. If it's because you just don't believe in discounts, or you have a handmade product or something custom that you're creating and it just doesn't make sense, well, that's something different. And, only you really know that. The other thing to think about is look at your pricing. If you're losing a bunch of money when you do run a sale, then it's possible your pricing is off a little bit too. So I just want to make sure that you are thinking of it from all angles and looking at it holistically before you decide not to do it, and that you're making that decision not from a place of fear. Again, it's your business. You get to do it your way. Be prepared for the outcome in either direction and just manage your expectations along the way. So I'm super curious, where are you at with running a sale during Black Friday weekend? You in, you out? What's your plan? DM me on Instagram and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a kick-ass day and getting geared up for Q4. Don't forget to go to ecommercebadassery.com/holiday podcast to get easy access to every episode I've ever done to help you plan your holiday marketing campaign. And that's a wrap, friend. I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're looking to surround yourself with more product entrepreneurs who totally get your life right now, get your booty on over to the E-commerce Badassery Facebook group. Can't wait to see you there. Until next time, e-commerce friends, stay badass.